A Maplewood cafe, the kind where everyone knows each other, buzzed with the usual lunchtime crowd, but today something felt off in the corner. An elderly man with a worn leather jacket and a long gray beard sat alone, quietly eating his meal. 3 teenagers hovered nearby, smirking. Then, without warning, one of them snatched his drink and laughed. The old man sighed, clearly used to this treatment. The wait, watching from across the room, clenched her fists. She had seen enough. The waitress, Rachel, had worked at this diner for over a year. She knew the regulars, their orders, their stories. The elderly man known as Hank was one of them. He came in every week, always polite, always tipping well despite his worn-out clothes. But today those teenagers had decided to make him their target. Rachel saw Hank lower his gaze as the teens chuckled. One of them, a lanky boy with a baseball cap turned backward, leaned in. "What's wrong, old man? Cat got your tongue?" Another boy snatched a fry from Hank's plate and popped it into his mouth. The third, a girl with bright blue hair, pulled out her phone and started recording. "Say something for the camera, Grandpa," she mocked. Rachel's blood boiled. The other customers noticed what was happening, but no one moved. No one wanted to get involved. Hank, on the other hand, stayed silent, his hands resting on the table, his jaw clenched. He had probably been through worse in his lifetime. Rachel took a deep breath and marched over. "Hey," her voice was sharp, commanding. The teens froze. "Leave him alone." Now the boy in the cap scoffed. "Relax, lady, we are just having fun." Rachel didn't budge. "This is not fun. You are harassing a customer, and if you do not leave right now, I will make sure you do." The girl with the phone laughed. "Oh, what are you going to do? Call the cops?" Rachel leaned in slightly. "Or I could call my manager and have you banned from here forever, or I could call your parents. I am sure they would love to see this video you are filming." The smirk on the girl's face faded. She lowered her phone slightly. The boy in the cap rolled his eyes, but stepped back. "Whatever, this place sucks anyway." As they turned to leave, the boy grabbed Hank's drink and threw it onto his lap. The cold liquid soaked into his worn jeans. The teens burst into laughter before finally walking out the door. Hank sighed and reached for the napkins. Rachel quickly grabbed a clean towel from behind the counter and handed it to him. "I am so sorry about that," she said. Hank gave her a tired smile. "It is not your fault, kid. Some people just do not have respect." Rachel clenched her jaw. "They should not have treated you like that. Are you okay?" Hank nodded. "I have been through worse." He patted her arm gently. "You got guts. Standing up for an old biker like me. Not many people would do that." Before Rachel could respond, a voice called from the back. "Rachel, in my office." Now her stomach dropped. The manager, Mr. Douglas, stood in the doorway, arms crossed, an unreadable expression on his face. She gave Hank an apologetic look before following her manager to the back. Inside the office, Douglas shut the door and turned to her. "What were you thinking?" Rachel frowned. "I was protecting a customer." Douglas shook his head. "You were threatening customers. Those kids have parents who come here every week. We cannot afford to lose business over something like this." Her chest tightened. "So you are saying I should have just let them bully him?" Douglas sighed, rubbing his temples. "I am saying you should have let me handle it." Rachel's fists clenched. "But you did not handle it. You just stood there." His face hardened. "That is enough. Hand over your apron. You are done here." Her breath caught. "Wait, you are firing me?" Douglas nodded. "Effective immediately." Rachel's heart pounded as she stared at him in disbelief. She had worked hard at this job. She had shown up on time, covered shifts, treated customers well, and now for doing the right thing she was being thrown out. She felt the sting of humiliation as she removed her apron and placed it on his desk. Without another word, she turned and walked out, her hands shaking as she stepped back into Maplewood Cafe. Hank was still there, watching her with concerned eyes. "What happened?" he asked. Rachel forced a small smile even as her eyes burned. "I just got fired." Hank's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, Rachel gave him a reassuring nod. "It is okay. I will figure something out." She walked out of Maplewood Cafe, the cold air hitting her face as the door shut behind her. What she did not know was that in less than 2 hours her life was about to change forever. Rachel sat in her car, gripping the steering wheel. Her heart was still racing. Fired just like that for doing the right thing. The unfairness of it burned inside her. She wiped her eyes, took a deep breath, and tried to calm down. She needed to figure out what to do next. Bills were due, rent was coming up. She could not afford to be jobless. Her phone buzzed. A message from her best friend Tina. "Hey, wanna hang out later?" Rachel stared at the screen for a moment before replying. "Got fired? Not really in the mood." Almost immediately Tina responded, "What, are you serious?" "I'm coming over." Rachel sighed. She appreciated Tina's support, but right now she just wanted to be alone. Before she could put her phone down, there was a knock on her window. She jumped, then turned and saw Hank standing outside her car. His weathered face looked more serious than before. She rolled down the window. "You okay, kid?" he asked. Rachel forced a small smile. "Not really." Hank nodded like he understood. "I did not mean to cause you trouble. I appreciate what you did in there. Most people would have looked the other way." Rachel shrugged. "It was just the right thing to do." Hank studied her for a moment, then, without saying anything, he reached into his jacket and pulled out a card. He handed it to her. "If you ever need anything, call to this number," he said. Rachel looked down at the card. It was plain, just a phone number written in Bold black ink, no name, no business, just a number. She frowned. What is this? Hank smiled slightly. A lifeline. Before she could ask more, he patted the car door and walked off, his heavy boots echoing against the pavement. Rachel watched him go, then glanced at the card again. She shook her head and tossed it onto the passenger seat. Right now, she needed to focus on finding another job. She drove home, her mind racing. How was she supposed to explain this to her landlord or her mom, who already worried about her? Maybe she could pick up some shifts at the grocery store. Maybe her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of motorcycles, loud, multiple engines roaring in the distance. She glanced in her rearview mirror. Her stomach dropped. A swarm of motorcycles, at least 50, made more, was riding down the main road. Their headlights pierced through the evening light, their engines rumbling like thunder, and they were headed straight for Maplewood Cafe. Rachel pulled into her apartment complex and got out, still staring in shock. She could hear the deep growl of their bikes even from here. Her phone buzzed again, a message from Tina. Rachel, go on Facebook now. Frowning, Rachel opened the app. Her feed was flooded with a video. The one the girl with the blue hair had been recording. It showed everything: Hank sitting alone, the teenagers bullying him, Rachel stepping in fearless, refusing to back down, and then her manager firing her. The caption: waitress stands up for elderly veteran gets fired for it. This is wrong. Rachel's heart pounded as she read the comments. This is disgusting. Who owns this diner? They need to answer for this. We stand with Rachel. Someone give her a job. Where is this place? Let's show them what happens when you mess with the wrong people. Her hands shook as she scrolled. The video had over 200,000 views in just 2 hours. The comment section was exploding. People were furious, and then another notification popped up, a live stream. She clicked on it. It was from someone standing outside Maplewood Cafe. The camera shook slightly as the person spoke. You are not going to believe this. There are hundreds of bikers pulling up right now. This is insane. The camera panned and Rachel's breath caught. The entire parking lot of Maplewood Cafe was filled with motorcycles, more than 500 bikers, all of them dressed in leather jackets, some with matching patches, and right in front of them, standing tall, was Hank. Rachel's phone buzzed again. An unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Hello. A deep voice on the other end. Calm, steady, Rachel. She swallowed. Yes. The voice paused, then said, we have got your back. Her stomach flipped. Who is this? The man chuckled. Let us just say you made some new friends today. The call ended. Rachel stood frozen, her heart racing. What was happening? Rachel's hands trembled as she lowered her phone. She could still hear the roar of the motorcycles through the live stream. This was unreal. Hundreds of bikers. For her, her phone buzzed again. This time Tina was calling. Rachel, are you seeing this? This is insane. Tina's voice was breathless, full of excitement. Yes, I am seeing it, Rachel said, pacing her apartment, but I do not understand. Why are they there? Tina scoffed. Are you kidding? You stood up for one of their own, and now the entire biker community is standing up for you. Rachel sat down, trying to process the video, the outrage, the bikers. All of it had happened so fast. A new message popped up from an unknown number. Come to Maplewood Cafe. She hesitated. Should she go? Her stomach churned at the thought of facing her former boss, but curiosity gnawed at her. She grabbed her keys and rushed out the door. As she pulled up near Maplewood Cafe, her breath caught. The parking lot was completely packed. Rows of motorcycles lined the street. Bikers stood in groups, talking in low voices, their leather jackets gleaming under the street lights. Some had their arms crossed, others were on their phones, but they all looked serious. Rachel parked a block away and walked toward Maplewood Cafe, her heart hammering. People noticed her immediately. Heads turned, conversations hushed, and then someone clapped, then another and another. Within seconds, the entire crowd was cheering, whistling, applauding, calling her name. Rachel felt her face flush. She had never had this kind of attention before. She spotted Hank.
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
Standing near the front of the crowd, he was smiling. She approached him, still feeling dazed. What is happening? She asked. Hank chuckled. What is happening is that you stood up for me, and now they are standing up for you. Before Rachel could respond, a deep, growly voice spoke up behind her. Her. She turned and saw a massive man with a thick beard, wearing a leather vest covered in patches. His presence alone was intimidating, but there was kindness in his eyes. Hank nodded. Yep, this is Rachel. The man extended a hand. Name's Bear, president of the Steel Vow MC. Rachel shook his hand, still overwhelmed. Nice to meet you. Bear smirked. You got guts, kid. Not many people would have done what you did. Rachel glanced around. I did not expect all of this. Bear's face darkened. Well, your boss messed with the wrong people. Before she could ask what he meant, Maplewood Cafe door swung open and Mr. Douglas, her former manager, stepped outside. His face was pale. He looked at the sea of bikers, then at Rachel. Bear's voice boomed. Is this the guy who fired you? Rachel swallowed hard. Yes. The crowd Murmured angrily. Douglas held up his hands. Look, I did not mean. Bear stepped forward. No, you meant exactly what you did. You fired her for protecting one of our own. You let those kids harass an old man because their parents spend money here. He gestured to the bikers. Well, guess what? We have got money too, and we are making sure no one eats here again. Reynolds' eyes widened. Wait, Bear wasn't finished. Hundreds of us, thousands across the country. You think this is bad? Wait until every biker in America knows what you did. The color drained from Douglas' face. Please, I can fix this. Hank stepped beside Bear. His voice was calm but firm. Then fix it. Douglas swallowed hard. He turned to Rachel. If I give you your job back, will you stop this? Rachel blinked. Are you serious? Yes, you can have your job back. A raise, even Douglas pleaded. Rachel stared at him, then at Hank, then at the crowd of bikers who had come here for her. A slow realization settled in. She did not need this job. She had power now. She lifted her chin and said no. Reynolds' face fell. What? Rachel crossed her arms. I do not want your job. I want an apology to Gus publicly. Douglas hesitated, but when he saw the way Bear and the others were glaring at him, he knew he had no choice. He turned to Hank. I am sorry for what happened today. It was wrong. The bikers murmured in approval. Rachel wasn't done. And you are going to make sure those kids never set foot in this diner again? Douglas nodded quickly. Of course, yes, absolutely. Bear smirked. Good choice. Rachel felt a strange sense of triumph as she turned to Hank, ready to go. He smiled. Yeah. Kid Leighton, get out of here. As they walked away, the bikers cheered. Rachel knew her life had just changed forever, and she had no idea what was coming next. Rachel stood among the roaring bikers, feeling something she had never felt before. Power, not the kind that came from a job title or money, but the kind that came from respect. She had stood up for Hank, and now an entire community had her back. Hank patted her shoulder. You did good, kid. Bear smirked. More than good. You made a statement. He turned to the crowd and raised his hand, silencing them. All right, we have made our point. No one is eating at this place again. They do not respect one of us. They do not get our business. A wave of agreement rippled through the crowd. Several bikers removed their helmets, shaking their heads at Maplewood Cafe like it was a lost cause. Rachel glanced at Mr. Douglas, who stood frozen in the doorway, his face still pale. His diner had just been blacklisted by a community he never even realized had this much influence. Hey, Rachel, she turned to see Tina rushing toward her phone still in hand. You are officially famous. Your story is trending on Twitter. Celebrities are sharing it, and oh my god, businesses are offering you jobs in the comments. Rachel blinked. What? Tina thrust her phone in front of Rachel's face. Sure enough, her notifications were out of control. Messages flooded in from restaurants, coffee shops, even a few law firms offering her a receptionist position. Someone hire this girl. We need more. Emil in the world. One post read. Before she could react, another message popped up, this time from an unknown number. Call me when you have a minute. I have a job offer that might be perfect for you. Rachel hesitated. Who is this? She muttered. Tina grabbed the phone. Only one way to find out. She pressed the call button and put it speaker. After a few rings, a smooth, confident voice answered. Rachel, glad you called. Who is this? Rachel asked. My name is Jason Steele. I run a security firm. We protect high-profile clients, celebrities, executives. We saw what you did today, and we could use someone like you, someone with a spine, someone who does not back down. Rachel's breath caught. Are you offering me a job? Sam chuckled. I am offering you a career. Come in for interview. We will talk. Rachel stared at Tina, who was practically vibrating with excitement. Hank smiled proudly. She had walked into work that morning expecting just another day. Now she was jobless, famous, and possibly about to step into an entirely new world. Her life would never be the same, and for the first time in a long time, she was perfectly okay with that.